Undying is a frontliner, right? Ideally should have a lot of HP, but so that makes a whole lot of sense. Emperor will just go for the bristleback, so you need that consistently strong frontliner on that mid lane to make sure that someone can soak up that damage. Not to mention, the bristleback is a natural aura builder. So you can get that pipe, you can get those aura items up and online, and I think you really do need a pipe this game. He has gone for the Seeing Red facet, so he may be choosing to go for the Aghanims build, but sometime or the other, I would expect Young G to actually go for the pipe. Maybe he leaves some space for Lloyd to get it on that Undying, but we will see what comes about there. I do prefer the draft of YG though. Even though the Swen may end up suffering to Emperor in that safe lane position, but it's the rest. It's when the teams actually go head to head against each other, right? It's that 5v5 clash that just seems so good for YG and doesn't actually seem too good for Emperor unless they get off that perfect Sand King initiation. But even then, Mango Rose has to get that farm, right? Because YG have plenty of ways to disengage. They can just glimpse the Sand King back. They can just throw out that arena. The Invoker has that tornado to disengage and then has that Ghost Walk. So YG have plenty of ways to be playing around the team fights. Emperor really don't. Emperor, once they initiate with that Sand King, they have to go all in, because playing outside the duration of that epicenter, playing while your epicenter is off of cooldown, is potentially not going to be the recipe for success that they think is going to be. Or maybe they don't think it's going to be all that much successful. We will see what the game plan is going to be for Emperor. I do think the draft goes in favor of YG, perhaps around 65-35 or maybe even 60-40, not by a huge margin, but the onus will be on Emperor to be the ones to actually make the better plays. Find the farm on this Terrorblade. At the end of it all, it is going to be a 4 protect 1 lineup and build some auras on Young G. We will see what items he goes for again, but in my opinion, it would be a bit of a mistake to go for all-out damage. You don't need the damage because you expect your TB to come online, and you just need to provide some kind of a buffer for your team. But let's see if he will be able to do that. We will have a bit of a pause coming about. Nothing too unexpected. It is perhaps Discord, which has been twitching on my end as well for a while. Perhaps that's some issue. If they use Discord, I have no idea what communication channel they use. But Discord is the best one. But both teams actually will go for a 5-man smoke. I wonder though who comes out ahead in that 1-to-1 scenario, because you may choose to skill up the Tombstone, but then the Snapfire can choose to skill up that Shredder. So 1-to-1, that Tombstone won't last very long, but over on that triangle area, there are actually plenty of ways to plant down that Tombstone, which makes it difficult to kill. You can plant it towards that backside. You can even plant it towards the low ground or even the high ground. It really depends on where the enemy is. YG will play it safe though. They will not actually be caught out. So they just... Oh wow. This is interesting. Normally when you use a smoke, you move past your tier 2 tower. But YG are choosing to play this extremely safe. A bit too safe in my opinion. Young PH on that mid lane, his observer will be dewarded. So that is at least something going the way of Emperor. However, it is 3 bounty rooms that actually go the way of Yangon Galacticos. And that means that it's going to be around 400 net worth of a shift in their favor. However, the observer ward was dewarded, so it's close to about 300 net worth that they come out with. So it's barely anything, right? It's 100 gold, which is a set of tangos, 2 clarities, 1.5 mangoes, 1.5 of a mango, I suppose. But let's take a look at these lanes. It's actually Young G who's in trouble. The Bristleback is going to end up giving away first blood. He did not expect Lun to come in here with the Disruptor, as KSH will be off to a great start. And they will position their Snapfire expectedly in that off lane against Lloyd on that Undying. Perhaps it may be worth it to actually shift the lanes here. This Undying could potentially go towards that top side, and you just position the Marcy, or the Murtha, they don't have a Marcy, position the Murtha towards this bot lane. Just make sure that the Undying isn't in the same lane as that Snapfire, because again, easy counter to that Tombstone. And it's a range hero, right? In this lane, the Snapfire plus the Mars just does super well. You have a setup for Zoran, that Snapfire cookie coming in to land that stun, and then you also have that spear as well as that rebuke, the shredder. It's just a whole lot of damage, and against a hero like Mango Rose, who doesn't actually have that much HP on that Terrorblade. Lloyd, you take a look at his HP, when he eats those 5 shredder hits, he loses about 400 HP. And that's not around 300 HP to be fair, but it is pretty significant. Let's see though, with the strong start that YG have had 3 bounty runes, as well as that first blood, what they can actually make happen over on this safe lane. Because it is, at the end of it all, a Bristleback versus a Swen. And in the early phases of the game, as far as the laning phase goes, this Bristleback should have a field day. The Murtha can potentially start things off with that dead shot if Lun is not careful with his position. And even if KSH is not careful with his position, right? Those quill sprays, they can stack up on quick if you aren't careful, if you aren't wary of them always. And so far, it is just a bit of poke and prod from both of these two sides. Mid lane, the Sand King is actually doing very well for himself. It will be even in terms of CS though, so Young PH is able to hold his own. 17 and 17 CS. Of course, Young PH does have the higher amount of denies, but it's the 3 cores from the Radiant side, the 3 cores from Emperor who are doing so well for themselves. It's actually Zoran who is struggling on that Mars. Just 7 CS to his name. It'll be 10 CS once he takes these, but in comparison to the Bristleback, he isn't doing too well. As expected, the Bristleback is a much better or much stronger laner. But let's see what comes about this. What comes off this kind of a start? It's a double-edged start, right? Because while... Oh, I'll have to hold that thought as toward on that bot lane. Mango Rose, it appears he got speared back. Lloyd is coming in though, so Mango Rose is actually going to be good. And it's actually Zoran and Skill Lei who are in trouble. Skill Lei is going to fall, and Zoran barely ended up surviving there. So Emperor able to fight back despite of YG having the initiation that they wanted. And Lloyd wasn't even present to protect the Terrorblade. He ended up coming into that team fight as Mango was trying to escape there, but still able to find the return. Very well done by Emperor. Them losing their Terrorblade would have been a bit of a disaster, as you know that YG will be targeting this Terrorblade with everything they have. The Bristleback isn't exactly a great target to go for, neither is the Sand King, but it's that Terrorblade that is easy to take down and is very valuable in as far as disabling the other side's late game potential. That is the end goal, right? That's how you just... Oh, I'll have to... It's a Sunstrike! And it's a kill. Young PH will find play hard and will be able to take him down. Certainly able to keep his eye out on these other lanes while also being able to CS. I mean, he's finding Sunstrike kills and he's at the top of that CS chart. This is a very impressive performance coming out by this Invoker. I mean, expectedly so. Young Galacticos, the reason I hype them up a bit is because their players play so well. I mean, not just their mid laner, but also KSH on their carry. Also their position 4, right? Skill Lei. He isn't playing the kind of heroes that he shines with. I think his Tusk is absolutely phenomenal. He does shine with Playmaker supports, but this time around he is on a boring Snapfire. Boring for him probably, because he will mostly be on that front line, or rather, mostly be on that back line once the game progresses past the laning phase. Youngji though, he's doing pretty well for himself. The 6-minute mark is approaching and neither side supports are actually moving. It is Skill Lei who will move towards that bot side power rune to potentially make sure that Kui can't get it. But yeah, I don't think Kui will be able to get that power rune. He turned around, thought about it for a second, but then his yeah, he got the correct idea. He remembered that he's completely outnumbered for that rune, and it was an illusion rune. It's not even worth fighting for, guys. It's perhaps the most useless rune. I mean, you can break away disables or incoming projectiles or silence, but there aren't that many to be found on the other side. There's a disruptor though behind that invoker, but it's very difficult to actually get the kill on the Sand King. If I actually expected Lun to be making some kind of a move towards that bot side and take the Terrorblade down, if anything else.
Dire are scanning.
The Terrorblade, who's actually over on that top lane. As they want to play on towards KSH. Inside of the calling, he is going to get slowed down by the Spirit there and needs a death shot. Lloyd will be able to grab the kill, completely outnumbered over on this top lane, as they will now look towards securing this topside tower, have plenty of duration left to play with on that Metamorphosis, and they even have the wagon. They have the catapult coming in, and this tower is going to fall very quickly. Without your Swen, I don't think YG will be able to go for the defense. The best they can look for is going for some kind of a trade, some kind of pressure towards that bot side tower, but they don't actually have great tower hitters. They do have the Snapfire, who does have that Shredder, but only one use of it. And now with the tower falling towards that top side, the big question is for Emperor, are they going to come in for the defense? Lloyd and Mango are here, so the Undying doesn't have the Tombstone. Without the Tombstone, the big question is, can they defend? They actually want to go on in from the side of YG, throws out that Stormhammer, and there's the Sunstrike. Young PH finds that one once again. The Ceaseless Dirge will be activated, and that means the Undying is going to be back, but unfortunately, they will no longer be able to defend that bot side tier 1 tower, and so it will be a 1-for-1.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Lots of stacks though built up for Kui, as he will probably feast upon those. He wants that early Blink Dagger. That is the one crucial item you need for Emperor, because when you take a look at the initiation potential, it's solely going to be on that Sand King to be able to get that Blink Dagger up for them to initiate. They don't actually have a way to initiate apart from that. Play Hard will end up falling towards the mid side, as, I mean, he's a support, so it's not a huge loss. At the same time, you have that Dominator built up for Young PH. He will be, I mean, has the Force Spirits, has that Troll coming in, as well as the Skeleton, so the big question will be whether or not Emperor choose to come in and defend this position. You do have about 1500 gold on the Sand King, but the Blink Dagger is still 750 gold away from it. And this tower falls pretty quick if you don't bring in some numbers. Lloyd will be here on that Undying and will be able to push Young PH away, because this Invoker is just... wow, he is juggling his orbs. But you need to bring in some more numbers on Young Galacticos to protect Young PH, or even provide some amount of buffer. Young PH, just surprising he got cut out there, but still there's that Tornado disengagement, and with the static field coming in, Kui doesn't actually have a way out, but there is the Tombstone. It will end up getting cleared up by that Shredder, so Skill Lay will be doing safe as well, or will be doing his duty or his job. Just take out that Tombstone. There's really not much else to do. As long as you keep your Invoker alive, that is, you know, going to be the minimum requirement for that win condition achieved. The real scenario is when you finally have that Blink Dagger, right? That is when Emperor will truly look to commit on some of these skills. With the Blink... Oh, rather, I thought they would have smoked up with the Blink Dagger, but no, they are just going to go for a smoke without the Blink. Surprising that Kui isn't choosing to first make the Blink before he goes for display. But it's not even a Shrine of Wisdom play, it is just a play for that Swen. I think they expect the Swen to be there because he hasn't exactly shown on the lane, so they are either expecting someone to be in the triangle or someone to be fighting that those side camps. But KSH, he is just not going to be there. There's no one here actually. But that will still give the space for Emperor to move on this bot lane tower. Mango Rose activates that Metamorphosis and he goes to work with it. We'll be able to take this tower down because YG are busy over on that top lane, expecting somebody to be here. It's both teams unable to read the other, but it's Emperor who come out slightly ahead because their smoke play transitioned into a tier 1 tower, and at the same time YG were not able to do the same thing. They might be able to take the mid lane tower down if they bring in the numbers, but so are Emperor. The way that they are postured here, they seem to want to defend this tower for as long as possible, but you do have the Mars also coming into this position. So it may be a scenario where it's difficult to contest, but Kui picks up that amplified damage, and suddenly the damage from that epicenter, it could end up being too much to handle for YG. But both sides going to play it safe. This was the time you needed to go for a smoke play. If there was a good time for it, right? I mean, you now have the Blink Dagger. Perhaps you do go for a smoke. Lloyd does hold one in his inventory. But Sand King right now wants to go on farming. You take a look at the net worth, it is that Swen, KSH, who has just been whacking away at those creeps, has about 110 of them and has about 7,000 net worth or nearly around. But the Terrorblade is trailing right behind him, right? Mango Rose will be strong against the Swen. I do think the Swen is just a lot stronger than the Terrorblade, right? At the end of the day, because you also have that follow-up silence when that Swen goes in with that Static Storm, the Terrorblade won't have an easy game to get that Sunder off unless you make a BKB. Oh, Sunstrike not really going to land, as the creep will end up being taken out. Anything to pressure this tier 1 tower. For as long as you can pressure this tier 1 tower, Emperor have to keep some of their heroes close by. As Youngji, predictably, and thank goodness, he is going for that pipe instead of that scepter build. Your team really does need that magical buffer, the magical damage buffer, and they will have it. The ability to dish out that magical damage yourself, coupled up with the magical damage barrier you'll have, perhaps then you take a fight to YG. But right now, Emperor are on the move. They will see Young PH there channeling that epicenter, but no, they just want to go on towards Young PH. However, the tornado was there, the calling does come down, so they'll be able to potentially find the invoker, but he finds a deafening blast. Young PH slowly trying to make his exit there, but Kui will use the epicenter. However, the Mortimers are going to come out from the other side, as Kui is in trouble right now. They may have found the invoker, but this is a pick-off gone horribly wrong, as Emperor will lose the Tombstone too. 2 heroes down, Tombstone lost, epicenter use, all you found was the invoker. It is a big kill, but just the amount of time the invoker was able to buy. Emperor didn't go in with the epicenter, they chose to actually play it with an impale, and I don't know if that one was the right idea. I think you were on the high ground. Young PH had no idea that he was going to be a target, and you had the time to play with the start things off with the epicenter. Dish out that damage, that's slow, but they gave too much time. I mean, in this kind of a position, right, the teleports, they can come in from the tier 2 tower on that mid side. They can even come in from the tier 2 tower on that top side. So you have to make a play, and you have to make it quick. They will be able to plant down an observer ward though, and it is just barely out of range of the sentry ward present from Young Galactico. So that's why they didn't plant down another sentry. They simply think that Emperor have not planted any vision there, but they're going to be sorely mistaken about that. Perhaps we might even have another kill happening in that dire jungle. Kui? He used the Burrow Strike. I literally glanced over on the side for a second. And Kui used the... That was an interesting decision. Perhaps there is no vision from the side of the Radiant, right? So you aren't exactly able to see on that high ground unless the creeps were there, and I don't think the creeps were there. So perhaps he thought that he could have used the Burrow Strike on the creeps, clear the creep wave, and just fall back before YG come up with a response. But he was sorely mistaken. And Playhard will end up falling inside of this jungle despite of having the appropriate vision there. Lloyd will also fall on that Undying, and this is going horribly wrong. YG able to find pickoffs left, right, and center, and are doing very well for themselves.
What a bounty!
Young PH
Radiant structures are fortified.
will have that Aghanim's up soon. So will Kui. I think it's going to be similar timings. As Young G comes in here, he has the Pipe of Insight now ready. So a lot of a buffer, a lot of a magical damage buffer will be available for Emperor. I don't know if it'll be enough because we haven't exactly seen a Static Storm being used. But right now, you have the Mortimers at the ready. You do have the Static Storm as well. Lun doesn't have a Blink Dagger. But if someone starts things off, he will have the space to be able to go for it. Zoran is in trouble. This is a good kill to be found. He really seems like he was too far out. And stuck inside of 3 heroes, the death shot not going to be enough. In fact, it won't even land. But Kui will be able to grab that kill. A lot of gold being infused his way. He will have that scepter up soon. Within the next minute or so. Just needs that Blade of Alacrity. As Emperor, they're going to make an outpost play. You have play hard here too, so the fact that they know the Invoker's creeps are here and they are moving down, they know the Invoker is here too, or at least they must have some idea of it. Lloyd will actually spot out that Invoker, and Young PH is in danger. Inside of the calling, this is the position where he simply won't be able to make it out from, and he will fall. Emperor finding great pickoffs. First on that Mars, now on the Invoker. They have found 2 core kills in back-to-back succession, and all they need to do is now take out the Swen, perhaps. You never really know, but
Radiant's middle tower.
this is a great pickoff lineup. Taking a full team fight is so risky because you're playing into so many AoEs, so perhaps you just consistently go for pickoffs until your Terrorblade is in a position where he can join in, and then perhaps you go for some team fights. Mango will have that Manta style in about a minute, and does still need a few more items. It's at that Scotty point, right? When you have that Eye of Scotty up, the the Hurricane Pike, Manta, and Eye of Scotty. Once you have those 3 items up, you hit critical mass, and your Terrorblade can then stack up against the opposing side's carry. Young G. Is Lun going to bring him back? He will. He'll even throw out the Static Storm. And Zoran would actually spear Young G outside of that Static Storm. Not really sure why they dropped that one down, but I mean, anything really, right? To get the kill. In the end, you find the kill on that offlaner before he's able to do much in response. And before even Emperor are able to respond, right? There was a lot of damage that just came out. The God Strength even being used. And KSH will have the Blink Dagger up. Right in time for the Tormentor. They took out a tier 1 tower, now they'll move on to the Tormentor, playing this very calculated. And let's see who the Tormentor actually... This is a great Tormentor game. I mean, whoever... As long as it doesn't go to the Mars, right? Lun and Skillday both can make great use with the Tormentor. Lun needs to be a bit careful not to end up dying to that Tormentor. It's another play though. Emperor. Their Observer Ward has gone out, but... Oh man, I think they wanted the Invoker, but they know with the Tormentor tooltip going out, they know that someone took that down. Perhaps they can find a kill here. The Murta will reveal the Snapfire. He is pretty low. Skillday is not the ideal target to find, but he's one that you'll take. For Emperor, you will take anything right now to keep yourself in this game. As long as you can keep your Terrorblade to continue to farm, you are going to be happy with these kinds of engagements, even if it doesn't translate into a higher value kill. KSH, oh, he goes on in. Unfortunately, doesn't have the damage unless he used the God Strength. I do think if you really wanted that kill, you would have popped that God Strength. Perhaps there he just... Perhaps he's just calculating how much damage he can actually dish out with that Sunstrike, right? A bit of an experiment. I'm only kidding, of course. I think they fully expected to be able to get that kill. But even forcing the whale out from that Morta isn't all that bad. You also push her out back to her fountain, and now you want to go in. Mango Rose, he was just staring into the abyss there. He's gonna eat that Static Storm, and KSH is gonna go in with the strikes, the arena to come out, and Mango Rose to fall before he can dish out that Sunder. Young Galacticos find the biggest prize of them all. It is that Terrorblade, and Emperor... They didn't have any of their heroes there. So I'm really not sure what Mango Rose was doing in that position. Perhaps he was just trying to dish out, or rather secure that tower, create some space around the map. But that is a big win going YG's way. They are going to be very happy with that one. And even more happy, Esquive gets brought back with that glimpse. He has the Burrow Strike available, but he is getting hit by that Cold Snap. Instantly going to fall, and the killing spree even goes the way of YG. They are playing with all that aggression right now, just want to get as many kills as they can. Now towards Lloyd, who does use his shard, so he's inside of that tombstone. Meanwhile, the Morta on that side trying to take out that disruptor will be able to find it. KSS forced to activate that BKB, but this is a tricky situation because Mango Rose is coming in with that Terrorblade, and this is the position where Emperor will probably look towards fighting. Swen got rooted by that Satyr, or rather that Prowler, but does have the blink out, so he will be doing safe. The only two casualties from that entire exchange were YG supports, so it isn't exactly a costly disengagement. They are probably going to be happy with that. As long as KSS makes it out, as long as your Invoker makes it out, you are going to be fine with that. I have never actually... I have nearly 10,000. Oh, I'll have to hold that thought though. Ooh, Invoker wasn't actually hit by that dust, so he'll just be able to walk that one away, and that was a lot of space being created by that Invoker. Zoran is even going to throw out the voice line in response. Zoran to pick up that arcane rune. Young G, I don't think he saw Young G there. Or maybe he saw them, but he saw him, but he just didn't care. Oh no, Young G is going to be brought back, isn't he? Yes, he is. The glimpse to bring the bristleback back. He was able to activate that pipe, but that's just so much damage coming out from KSH. They threw everything they have because they know that if you take out that one strong frontliner from Emperor, it's going to be very difficult for them to contest. Roshan falls incredibly quickly, and surely Emperor know that this is happening. Play Hard will move on over to perhaps throw a dead shot out. And with Zoran's position on that high ground, they know this is the play for Roshan. Queen needs to go in with his epicenter if he wants to contest this. Roshan is falling incredibly low. Zoran building up space with that arena on that high ground, and the Aegis has been already claimed. KSH will just use the BKB to back away from this position and will just blink out. It is going to be YG to fully disengage. So they got a kill, they got the Aegis, and they will be happy with that. Once again, I mean, it's very consistent, calculated engagements that YG are taking. It's not really bringing Mango Rose back to the point where they wanted, but you do have a BKB now off, so you will have a surefire way of getting that Sunder off. However, this is a tricky situation. They have the Static Storm, and they will be able to use it in about a second, but KSH is falling incredibly low, doesn't have the BKB. It is on cooldown, so even if he comes back and he finds the blink out, he won't be able to. The Cataclysm, though, it comes out, and it cleans up Emperor. They will lose everyone. Kui is the only one to survive that initial burst, but it's going to be a full-on team wipe coming about from Emperor Young PH with a triple kill and that Cataclysm. Emperor were not expecting that one. Even though they thought for a second there they had the advantage in that team fight, I thought they had the advantage in that team fight. Yeah, such as BKB was down, but I don't know if that was a bait by YG or just really good damage control. But they are now doing incredibly well. A 12,000 net worth advantage. Tier 2 tower is going to fall. Perhaps they even just go high ground. Really nothing to stop them.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Observer ward to fall.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's tricky now for Emperor. I don't exactly see the way in which they can put out a lot of damage, right? Mango Rose did go for that BKB, but the Cataclysm goes through it. I believe it goes through it. Yeah, it does go through it. Right, and it's 2 Sunstrikes spawning for every hero position. So it's about 1,000 pure damage that you take on that Terrorblade. And KSH comes in with the 1,500 damage with that critical strike, right? So it's just straight up impossible, even with the BKB, to survive. You need more stat items. You need the Eye of Scotty. Maybe with that, it's going to be enough. Play hard is... needs to be careful. Does throw the root out with the Atos, but KSH will just find the blink on in and will be able to take the Mortha's life. They are right now hunting for Mango Rose, who will be able to back himself away, teleport through to from the outpost to the other side of the map, and it's only going to be a matter of time before YG come knocking on some of those other tier 2s. What is going to be the game plan? You have the Scepter up for Kui, but the Sand King is suffering. He's at the bottom of that net worth chart as far as the cores go. Terrorblade, sure, he was doing very well up until that last team fight near YG's mid lane tier 2. The Bristleback has had the pipe for a really long time, has the Lotus as well to play with, but there's no damage is the problem on Emperor's side. It's a sustained team fight that they can take, perhaps, with that Metamorphosis. It's the initial burst of damage with that Epicenter, but it's not enough. Young PH has an Octarine score. He has 3,000 HP, and he will not die to that Epicenter. The Swen, KSH, has about 4,000, nearly 4,000 HP. He has a Satanic, so he can turn things around, even if he gets hit by all of the pulses of that Epicenter, even if he gets hit by several stingers inside of that Sandstorm. Still not going to be enough. Mango Rose was glimpsed back. He doesn't have a TP, thank goodness. Oh wait, no, he wasn't the one who was glimpsed. He can't TP here if he... Oh, Kui goes in with the Epicenter, but again... Oh no, they were actually able to take KSH down. Perhaps they can actually wipe out YG right now. The Disruptor is also going to fall. It was the amplified damage on Kui that did most of the work there. And that was something that YG were not expecting. And Young Jin now looks to securing some more kills here, trying to find the ghoul stacks, but won't be able to. And it does seem like YG will disengage from this position, but not before they were able to take out Mango Rose on that TB. It's not a fight that went the way of Emperor cleanly. It was still in their favor, very heavily in their favor, because they took down the Swen. So it's a lot of net worth that swings their way. But losing your TB is the one hero that you can't lose in this kind of a scenario. Because even when you gain yourself the net worth, you need to pool it into your Terrorblade. Oh, will he actually get the kill? He will! Really nice execute with that Deafening Blast. And he has the Octarine score. But Emperor able to take down the Tormentor. It's a shard that goes away of the Morta, so it's not exactly
has
It's
been
not.
killed.
It's not the most valuable of shards. Young PH though now on the hunt. That amplified damage rune, I mean, it turns out I was thinking about how you find the damage on Emperor, and that amplified damage rune, I mean, that's one way to find the damage, I suppose, but that won't happen for you each and every single time. Now onto this high ground. Mango Rose will just send out his illusion. Zoran is looking for that instant initiation. I don't think it's going to be on that Bristleback. KSH though is going to move on forward. The big question is the Sand King going to initiate upon him now? He has a shield rune. How is the Sand King actually finding these runes is my question. Right? Because you take a look at the map, it's entirely in the control of YG. How is he making it to those power runes to secure them? Okay, it's because YG are ignoring the power runes entirely. Skillday just walks past that regen rune.
I'll take your tribute. Regeneration.
Zoran now on his way to the Hex. And will eventually get that refresher. Or maybe he could actually pick up the refresher. I think the reason he picked up the Tiara of Salamene is because he isn't sure about this. No, but he also brings in the recipe for the side to fight. It's not exactly an expensive recipe. So he can still go for the refresher if he wants to decide to switch it up. Ooh, play hard. He saw the spear there. He doesn't know if anyone else is there. So perhaps he should be playing a bit more careful. But it's going to be Emperor who go for a Smoke of Deceit. And they are looking for a way in. Both teams actually go for a smoke. It is the Roshan attempt, right? Because both sides realize they can't give away Roshan.
Scanning.
I mean, for Emperor, they really can't give away Roshan, because Roshan, with the Aegis on YG, that means their high ground is going to get pushed in. They see all of these Terrorblade illusions. Unfortunately for them, Mango Rose has already made his exit. He is in that Radiant jungle, so they won't actually find anyone in this position. It is going to be a smoke that wears off. However, Young G, he does need to be a bit careful. Roshan is going to spawn in about 10 seconds. And it's going to be go time for YG. But perhaps they look to secure a kill first before they do that. Zoran has that Hex built up now on that Mars. Another smoke play.
Scanning.
Scanned by the Radiant side. It's actually the Invoker. He needs to teleport on out of here and will be able to find it in the nick of time. Kui was looking for the Burrow Strike and was just a second too late. That would have been a huge kill and potentially enabled them to contest Roshan. But now it's YG on the move. They will be able to spot out Young G. The Bristleback did get hexed up, but it's actually Lloyd who gets blown up by KSH, who activates the God Strength and is falling back just for now. The Undying is back into the game though with that Ceaseless Dirge. And now the arena comes out by Zoran. Young G is taking in too much damage. That's a 2000 critical strike. Mango Rose activates the BKB and goes to work on Lun. He will be able to find the kill. It is a 1-for-1, but Squeeze Epicenter has worn off. And KSS potentially turns it around onto that Sand King. Too much damage coming in from YG. Young PH throws out that tornado looking to control Mango Rose, who doesn't have the BKB available, so Soren will just go in, finds a two-man skewer, KSH on an ultra kill, and potentially even a rampage. The Sunder comes out, but he's just gonna get hexed up on that TB, and there it is, KSH with the rampage, and YG very far ahead in this game.
Radiant's middle tower is
Lloyd even calls it with that lost team fight. He will just simply call GG as Emperor have ran out of juice, ran out of fuel, and they can't contest with YG, not after that brutal loss of a team fight. And they will be heading and playing rather for that game number 2 for that comeback to try and mount it up and take YG to a game number 3. But with the way that YG are looking, it's going to be an uphill battle, and I can only wish Emperor luck. They have taken games off of Young Galacticos before, so they do have the potential to be able to do that here today. I really do think that perhaps they should change their draft a bit to add some more firepower in it. And you know, as far as the laning phase goes, I think they really did play it well. I don't think anything went wrong there, outside of not being able to contest the bounty runes and then giving away the first blood. Those were a few tiny errors that snowballed for them, and they weren't able to shut down KSH the way that YG were able to shut down the TB's farm by securing the map control. So a few errors here and there, but Emperor, again, having taken off games off of YG in the past, perhaps they can do it here today over at Grin Station Lunar Snake Trophy 3. Of course, to find out if YG will clean sweep Emperor or if Emperor will find the comeback, we will be taking a short break before we head into game number 2. So stay tuned, guys, and we will be right back for that second game. time to time as well, but we will see what
10
they have
seconds remaining.
as far as Doom goes. And the idea behind this Doom is essentially, once you have that Doom coming about on a target, Pugna can't heal him up with that life drain. So you do have a strong counter to that Pugna's life drain as far as that one target goes. Outside of that one target, of course, the Pugna can life drain, unless, of course, you pick up the scepter, which I don't think you're going to go for on the side of YG. But on the side of Emperor, they see the Doom on the other side, they see the Disruptor, and it's two very strong single point abilities, right? The Glimpse as well as that Doom. So maybe go for a natural Linking Sphere builder, but they will right now go for a support pick as a third pick. As far as the third pick goes, but for their fourth pick, let's see what they go for. It's another hero that, by the way, Young and Galacticos are playing with. The Snapfire and the Mars, those two heroes were with YG in that previous game, but right now they are with Emperor.
Remaining.
And
5 seconds remaining.
all of the mid heroes get countered by that Doom, unless you go for something like the Earthshaker or maybe the Pangolier. The Pangolier is one of the better heroes against the Doom, because when that Doom comes out against that Rolling Thunder, you just keep on rolling.
Radiant
Right,
team
or don't really fear that Doom all too much, but Emperor are actually going to go for that Ursa Warrior. This is very interesting. They're actually going out for the all-out mid-game potential on Emperor, not really playing for that late game. YG can play for that late game, and they can also have plenty of ways to disable this Ursa. Perhaps they just pick up a Puck right now and completely shut down the Ursa, who doesn't like playing against the Puck, because can't use the Earth Shock to get out of that Dream Coil. You still do have the Enrage available against the Dream Coil. You can just pop that one and just run out of the Dream Coil. You won't take much damage. But at the same time, it's controllers that Ursa hates playing against. And heroes like the Puck, heroes like the Invoker do pretty well against that one Ursa. As well as that Mars and the Pugna, to be fair. Not really all that well against the Pugna, because the Nether Ward is a great ability against heroes like the Puck and the Invoker. But for YG, let's see what they will go for as far as their mid goes. It is going to be that Invoker once again. So they are prioritizing control here as well as that all-out damage. That Cataclysm did wonders for that previous game. Remember the tier 2 team fight between both of these two sides at YG's tier 2, of course, where the Cataclysm just came out when KSH's Aegis was down. Completely changed the game, completely turned things around. And right now you also have the Doom with the Sunstrike. If your target, if anyone from Emperor gets doomed up and gets hit by that Sunstrike, they will die. There is no debate about that. No second way in which it can end up. Emperor, though, thinking about the bans on the carries. They will ban out the Faceless Void, which, to be fair, I mean, we have seen a resurgence of the Faceless Void, has been played in TI quite a bit, but they will actually ban out the Swen as well for good measure. So they are fully expecting an offlane Doom for YG, who have a ban to go for. As far as the mids go, you have a Disruptor on the other side. Perhaps you just ban out that Pangolier. Or maybe that Earthshaker, if you're planning to go for a melee carry on your team.
5 seconds remaining.
You have a Disruptor, so for Emperor to go for a Spirit would be a very risky position. I don't expect that one hero to come out, but they will still go for the Void Spirit ban. Let's see what they pick as their carry. It should be the...
10 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Let's see. Ooh, it's actually going to be the Troll Warlord, a hero that has 100% win rate in TI. I think the Troll Warlord has played about 10 games and has 100% win rate. It's incredibly impressive. We even saw the Troll twice. I mean, I didn't actually get to see all of the series yesterday, but I believe Extreme Gaming went for the Troll as well as Enigma Galaxy, right? Both of those teams went for the Troll, and both of those teams won their respective games. Meanwhile, Emperor, let's see what they go for. It is going to be that Kunkka on that mid lane. So a Kunkka versus that Invoker is a favorable matchup for that Kunkka. considering the Tidebringer just brings the Forge Spirits down as well as that dominated creep that young PH will acquire later on. So there is that natural mechanism against Invoker's Forge Spirits, right? But at the same time, you are playing a melee hero. However, Kui has a bit of a glimpse of his own, right? It's kind of like the glimpse, the X mark, which is what I'm referring to. You know, you can bring a target back and then you can send him up into the air with the torrent and the ghost ship, and you have the necessary follow-up. Not to mention, the X mark is a great setup for Mars as well to come in with that arena, and now you do have multiple initiators, or 2 initiators to be or maybe Ursa can also, so you have 3 initiators to be fair. Mango Rose can also initiate, but this is very much a mid-game oriented draft. Meanwhile, for Yanghang Galacticos, the reason that Troll is so good against the Ursa is that it doesn't matter even if you have 1,000 Fury Swipes on that Troll. Within the duration of that battle trance, the Troll Warlord simply will not, or rather cannot die. Unless you have a hero like the Axe or the Wind Ranger on the other side. That's different. But Mango Rose, Ursa versus Troll, the Troll does win out. At the same time, it really depends on what kind of a disable you bring into those team fights. And unfortunately, I still give it to YG for their draft in this game. They have the Doom. That one hero is the reason why I think their draft is better, because it not only counters out the Pugna, it also counters out the Kunkka in a way. I mean, anyone the Doom goes out on, coupled up with the young PH's spells, the Cataclysm, or that Sunstrike, and Emperor are going to be in serious trouble. Let's see though what they will be doing. You will have a 5-man smoke coming in from the side of YG as they look towards wrapping around. This time around, they are playing the Radiant side. And they will head on over towards that triangle. They may end up falling in the jaws of that Ursa, as the rest of Emperor, they are waiting on that high ground, and the fight starts now. But KSH instantly taking so much damage, has to fall back for now. But the only problem is, he actually can't. Mango Rose has the movement speed advantage over that Troll. And even though the Troll saw that, oh no, the rebuke didn't land, so KSH may be able to find the exit. But the Earthshock comes out from that Ursa, and it should be the first blood, but no, Playhard gets that one. It will be the second blood though. And maybe they even find themselves with that 3rd kill on towards Skillay, who doesn't really have anywhere to run, even if he finds his dead shot, or rather he has the calling. But this is going to be a disaster for YG. A great early game start being found by Emperor. Each of their side laners found the kill. Mango Rose on the Ursa found the kill on KSH. Young G found the kill on Skillay. And Playhard found the kill on that Disruptor. So it's a massive amount of gold going, or rather net worth going the way of Emperor. 3 kills at the start is really too much experience as well. And Zoran is going to struggle here. I mean, this is a lane in which the Doom doesn't actually do all that well. You have the defensive support in the form of Lloyd, who can come in with a Decrepify. Not to mention, can also use the Decrepify to slow people down. Oh, Mango Rose wants to be going in again. Nether Blast actually lands on Skillay. Mango Rose, unfortunately, unable to dish out the hits as the jukes came about from Skillay. But again, this is a lane in which Mango Rose can play as aggressive as he wants. Perhaps stack up a significant advantage to the point where you can disable Zoran. Have a good timing with that Battle Fury. If he's able to get it within that 13-minute mark, that's going to be a very early Battle Fury, and perhaps Emperor can just snowball that game from that point. But it's a bit too far in the future. We will see exactly what they do. Another initiation. From Mango, he will be able to find the kill. Zoran, oh no, Mango Rose's escape was blocked out by those creeps, and he will end up falling. Zoran, though, the one being chased down, another blast to miss by an inch. And Zoran will be able to keep himself alive, but not by much. He doesn't actually have a tango. But maybe it's Skilday who's going to be bringing in a salve. Yeah, he's actually bringing in 2 salves. He'll give Zoran his one, and this Doom should be able to replenish his HP. And now we'll be able to reset this lane. Mango Rose, though, he'll actually cancel out that salve. So, nicely done by him. Zoran should have been a bit more careful on that Doom. But the aggression isn't going to stop. You take a look at the lost hits. Both of these heroes, both of these cores on the top side. 6 lost hits for the Doom, and it's 9 lost hits for the Ursa. Towards that bot lane, though, things are pretty different as Playhard went down. There is no glimpse available, but with the slow coming in from the whirling axes, Young G will look to fall. Lun has the Thunderstrike at the ready, and Young G nowhere to go. Is going to eat the axes and will end up being that second death. KSH with a double kill, and it's YG who have found their way back into the game, or rather were given the way back into the game by an overzealous response, or overzealous set of movements coming out for Emperor. I'm not exactly too sure how they got caught out, but I assume it was a glimpse play. And this is, it's a similar theme, right? Both of these safe lanes for these two teams have the capacity to be very aggressive. It is, though, that Mars and that Snapfire, though, who can also play aggressive on their off lane. And with the YG's heroes being so incredibly low, they can look to punish this troll. We'll need to think about how to do it carefully, though, because, I mean, Lun has a glimpse. You always had the potential of that Sunstrike coming about as well, which we haven't really seen from Young PH. And he is struggling against that Kunkka. A struggle would be putting it mildly. I did say that Kunkka is a bit stronger against the Invoker in that lane. I didn't actually expect Kui to be this much stronger against Young PH. I mean, 30 lost hits on the Kunkka versus the 17 of Young PH. That is 4 creep waves of an advantage that Young PH has given away to Kui. Meanwhile, is that punishment. Playhard will end up falling, and Young G is going to be brought back by that glimpse. KSH has the boost of speed, and Mars does not. Young G in trouble, will be allowed to go here. KSH simply does not want to be going in, but needs to be careful. Playhard is there with the Snapfire. Looking for the blast, will be able to find it. The cookie isn't going to land, and Young G is looking for the spear. Will be able to find it on that troll. However, the Sunstrike's coming in. There it is, Young PH finding the re-entry. He may not have as many lost hits, but he does have that Sunstrike to play with. Grabbing himself the kill, and right now Kui has the ghost ship at the ready. Doesn't want to throw it out though. Will plant an observer towards that backline to make sure that he has vision over the Invoker. Lloyd is here with the Pugna. And that's going to give the green light for Queen. Throw out that X-Mar. The ghost ship goes out. Everything, even the blood grenade goes out by Lloyd. And they'll be able to grab themselves that kill. A very even kill feed coming about in this game. 5-5. And the power rune will go the way of Kui because there's really no one here to contest this.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
A gift from the temples of battle.
Young PH again struggling pretty hard in this laning phase. We will take a look at the net worth, but right now is that 7-minute mark that is approaching. I wonder if any of these sides will be making a play for that Shrine of Wisdom. Doesn't seem like either side will, though, with the way that they are, with the way that they are positioned. The Pugna is towards that bot lane. It is 3 heroes on this bot side. So that actually leaves this Ursa to be a target. He's lucky that Zoran doesn't have his Doom up, because I'm sure that Zoran is itching for a kill on that Ursa. We'll just continue to farm. Has the whirlwind, or rather the tornado. It's not a whirlwind, it's a tornado. And what the reason why this is such a good spell is that you can essentially just... Oh, it's not... It's not the whirlwind, so he can't actually have that readjustment, that repositioning with that whirlwind that comes about. But it's going to be interesting to see whether or not he goes for the Hand of Midas this game, considering that they haven't exactly had the start that they wanted, and their towers are going to get pushed in reasonably fast because you have a Pugna on the other side. Shrines of Wisdom, 1-to-1 each. Lloyd now activates in the Nether Ward.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
And young PH needs to be careful. Kui may look for the entry in. Taking a look at the net worth, and expectedly it is Kui who is on a massive advantage. This is just too big. He is coming in with the Kunkka, and Zoran needs to be careful. The X mark is going to go out on that Morta though. He isn't going to bring the Morta back using the X mark, but they want to actually contest the stack. Perhaps even take the stack away from YG. And a few Tidebringers will do the trick. 65 lost hits. You take a look at the lost hits back. Look at this. 65 lost hits on that Kunkka. 30 lost hits on Young PH. And Kunkka has 18 denies. So this is just brutal for YG. Certainly, we're not expecting this big of a beatdown against them on that mid lane. But does seem like Kui, who had a pretty lackluster game last time around, is doing incredibly well this time around, and may end up being the playmaker that Emperor needs him to be in order to find the comeback and take this to a game number 3. Still quite a few ways before we can call that potential scenario, as again the Sunstrikes can quickly bring the Invoker back into this. So Emperor really need to make sure that they don't give away too many kills while they have this big, huge lead. 3,000 of a net worth advantage. They need to maintain this, and they need to snowball from this position. Ursa now on the way to make that Battle Fury.
Is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning.
Tier 1 tower, the second one to fall for YG, as Emperor, they're just simply playing this calculated this time around. They know their advantage as far as the heroes go, as far as their lineup goes, so they will just use another blast to oblivion and beyond. Oblivion and beyond. That is inspired by, of course, yours truly, Buzz Lightyear, I suppose. I wonder what became of Toy Story. I really like those set of movies. It was a core part of I suppose everyone's childhood, right? But haven't exactly. Oh, mid lane Kui inside of that invisibility rune. Will just break that invis. Has a blade mail now, so he is a target that is very difficult to actually engage upon. And right now they are waiting. Zoran is going to end up going back, and this can't be luckier for him because Emperor were coming in with the rotation from their Kunkka. But I suppose even if this smoke play doesn't work out, even if they don't get a kill, they will still be able to grab themselves up with a tier 1 tower. The healthiest tower of the game, by the way. It hadn't taken a single point of damage up until this point, and it is going to be now falling unless YG choose to mount up a response. But they are actually more interested in cleaning up the stacks while they still can.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And they will come out with these stacks. I'm just not sure if these stacks will bring themselves back to or mitigate some of the losses they are faced up with. This tower is still pretty healthy. Zoran has the Drums of Endurance, and Luna has the Static Storm to play with. Young PH though doesn't have the mana for that Sunstrike, so YG need to keep this in mind. He will bring a Clarity. for himself. We now will. I'm assuming he'll have the Radiance by that 18 to 19 minute mark, and YG, you can tell how much stress had they're faced up against, because you don't normally see this game. You don't normally see this team playing passive. You see this team making waves, making moves consistently, but this time around, they haven't exactly found the opening. Lloyd is going to get spotted out. I think... Oh, no. They're not going to use the Doom. They're going to use a Static Storm to actually get the kill on this Bugna. And they will be able to find it. However, Kui is going to come in with that Kunkka. He's going to get glimpsed back, though. The Mortimers are going to come flying out. Zoran, he has the Drums of Endurance to play with, so the Mortimers will not be able to find the kill. And the Ghost Ship actually came out from this Kunkka, so it's going to be down for about 80 seconds, and YG can actually come out with some kind of a response, or a set of movements from their side, I suppose. They have plenty of time to make some kind of a play. The game will be unpaused. And there's going to be an outpost play happening from the other side. And let's see what they can actually make do with this outpost play. Oh, Zoran, he will find the Young G. I don't think the Doom will be used though, but no, he actually throws it out for good measure. And they will be able to find the kill. Slowly but surely, YG finding the pickoffs across the map and bringing themselves back into this game.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I did decrease my volume just a little bit because I don't want my voice on the feed for you guys to be crackling. Do let me know if it's all right now. But Kui still steadily farming away. The Mars doesn't have a Blink Dagger. He was incredibly close to that Blink Dagger, and that must hurt Young G. I think they wanted the Blink Dagger more than anything, because that's the big opening for you, right? Because this Kunkka is going for a Radiance, it's going to be up to Young G to make those initiations for at least the first half of the game. Meanwhile, yeah, Sh almost has that Battle Fury, is quite far behind compared to the Ursa, who does have that Battle Fury and will have an entire Blink Dagger to play with as well soon. So you'll have that two simultaneous mechanisms of initiation. So this actually works out pretty well for the Mars, who doesn't have a Blink quite just yet. You'll have a Blink Dagger at the same time, and so you can make plays at the same time together.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Zoran, though, he gets gone on. The Mars start things off with the arena. There's the debut of that Blink Dagger in a big way, and YG realize now that they are face up against the Blink Dagger. So let's see how they choose to play now, what their contingency will be.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
It's inside of the Roche pit that Emperor will go 5,000 of a net worth advantage, and once that Roshan falls, it's probably going to be around 6,000 of a net worth advantage. I mean, it can snowball past that point, right? 5 minutes of an Aegis, really no way to contest Mango Rose quite just yet unless you are able to find the Doom. So this lead could end up being 10,000 in the next 5 minutes if YG do not play this careful. And the big question will be, will they disengage entirely? Zoran has gone for that Hand of Midas.
A gift from the tempest of battle.
Skill Lay going to come across the puck now, but will just instantly go for the teleport out. But Young G had different plans for that Murta. He will just find the skewer and they will find the kill. Very easy one to be found, and it's not all that significant. It was just support.
Dire's middle tower is under
Oh, Zoran throws out the Doom. They want to take this Aegis away from this Ursa, and they will be able to find it. And I think they just back away now, but they're still sticking in this position. Lone wants to drop down the Static Storm. The Meteor goes out too. But, however, with the arena coming out from Young G, this seems to have gone incredibly wrong for Young Galacticos, although they don't actually lose all that much for it. It's just the Disruptor that ended up going down. And, I mean, YG found the Aegis. They have slightly disabled Emperor's ability to actually push down some of these tier 2 towers. And I think that works out for them, although at the same time, I mean, they're losing heroes left, right, and center. Unable to actually... Unable to push back at Emperor, right? You see the map and it's slowly being closed down on by the side of Emperor, and YG's space around this map is shrinking. They need to find a way to make something happen for them. They have 2 drums of endurance. I'm not too sure about this. I don't think they stack. Oh, Young G missed the spear. Tried to go in for a sneaky little play, but he has the Ews to play with. Sending himself into the air. Lune has lost his life, so there won't be a glimpse available. But Kui has the X mark on that Invoker. The Mortimers come flying out. A dead shot not really landing on that Snapfire, and Young PH is just gonna eat that spear and lose his life. And now Mango goes to work. 3 kills in quick succession as Emperor are looking really strong this game.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
This is not working out for them the way that they had hoped for on the side of YG. Even with what I assumed was going to be the better draft, it does seem like the 3 kills that they ended up giving away in that very early game was, I mean, there's really no other way to put it, right? That was a colossal
Radiant's
mistake.
top tower is under attack.
Even though when they went up there, right, they were on the low ground when their smoke broke. So they knew someone was up on that high ground. They still chose to walk up, thinking that they could have come up with a big advantage, but unable to do so, really. Oh, Young G. He found a Doom. Zoran is in trouble. There is limited follow-up, though. Kui is here with the ghost ship available, and this does seem like it's going to be a kill. Turns out there was no limited follow-up. Turns out that it was more than enough with the ghost ship. Young PH, he is signaling the mid lane, but
Bottom tower is under
I think he knows that there are multiple heroes here. Yeah, he's just going to end up going back. Or will he? He will. He has to. There's no way he stays here and expects to get something in return.
Invisibility.
Young PH. Oh no, he went for that alacrity. And that surely is not going to be worth it. The death shot does come out though, as so does the Static Storm. And now Zoran looking to go in. Uses the Doom on that Kunkka, who is going to be brought in by that Glimpse. And they have the Cold Snap available. However, Mango Rose comes in, but so does KSH. Finally, the Stroll Warlord joining a team fight. But can he actually find the kill on towards Kui? He does. And now has the Battle Trance at the ready. He will now expend it. Mango Rose, the one in danger. Can he actually make his way out? The Glimpse is going to bring the Ursa back, but the Battle Trance is now ran out. And Mango Rose will pick up the mega kill of KSH. And it's Emperor who are 14,000 net worth ahead. And they're simply
Tower is under attack.
no more room for error on the side of YG. Sure, they are making decent plays around the map, but it's unable to actually close out those kills. And it's a bit unlucky as well, because you saw so many of those hits come out from that Ursa, but he wasn't able to actually get the ensnare or get the root on Mango. Who now has that Skull Basher and will have a BKB up soon. Once you have that BKB, it will be impossible to actually take this Ursa down within the duration of that Enrage or that BKB. And it's a long duration Enrage, mind you. It's 5 seconds with just the spell, and he also has that shard, so it applies a 1.3 second Enrage when it's casted. So overall 6.4 seconds, 9 seconds with the BKB, 15 seconds in which that Ursa is actually going to be straight up nearly invulnerable. But young PH, he will not be invulnerable. He is going to get revealed by the dust and going to be brought down. 5 heroes on top of that Invoker. And it's a tower that's going to be in trouble. It will most likely end up dying out. No response is going to be there, of course. As Zoran wants to be making that Blink Dagger. Maybe with the Blink Dagger, maybe if you find the right initiations, that YG can bring themselves back into this. But at the same time, Emperor are going to be more than prepared. I mean, they have the BKBs up. Even Kui will have a BKB. So it's these two cores, which are the most important cores in those team fights to take down, will be nearly unkillable when those BKBs are up.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Back to port.
Skill late.
Dire's top tower is under
He was spotted out for a second, and that second is enough. In fact, he doesn't even survive for a second once he gets engaged upon. Just that one Tidebringer does so much damage. It's 210 of a damage bonus. The Kunkka has about 250 damage. So it's my math is so bad. It's 150 plus 210, 360. There we go. 360 for damage with that Tidebringer coming in. As Lun really needs to get back. I think they have to abandon this tier 2 tower. They simply can't defend this. KSH now with the Yasha is going to be making his Sanj and Yasha, but even when you would have that item up with that slight buff to your HP, can you really survive? The Solar Crest is there though, so it is this Ursa, this troll does hit hard. I wonder if he hits hard enough. As young PH, oh no, if he breaks his invisibility here, it's going to be all over for him. He will just make his way out. And because the Invoker, young PH actually spotted the Kunkka as well as young G out, perhaps they make some kind of a play towards that top side because they do see that Snapfire.
Dire are scanning.
Oh, young PH got out. I think it's the 3rd time in a row he has been caught out, but one can't really blame him. He is trying to create space around the map.
Dire's top tower
At least at the back of this though, KSH will be able to take the tier 1 tower down.
fortified.
There is a wraparound coming in though, so they do need to escape from this position. Oh no, skill lay. There is no wraparound coming about. Emperor will just be heading on over to the Roshan Pit, the second Aegis of the game, and they will grab themselves up with the banner.
Roshan has fallen to the Dire. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Mango Rose has an Abyssal Blade at the ready with that Ursa, and he can hold the Troll Warlord in. Potentially even take KSH down before he's able to activate that Battle Trance. It's going to be hard because you have that Sanj and Yasha, so he does have that status resistance coming in, reducing the duration of those stuns. And the Abyssal Blade isn't exactly a long duration stun, it's only barely 1.2 seconds. So, it's... This is actually a great item for the troll now that I think about it. The bash chance for a range hero is 10%. Oh, unfortunately though, Young PH, he does have the deafening blast, but the Abyssal is going to hold him in place. The dead shot will not be enough. Young PH is going to get caught out for the 4th time in this game, and Emperor, 23,000 net worth ahead. They just can move on over to that high ground.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Potentially, it's towards that bot side. They find Skill Lay. These two heroes have been getting picked off so many of these times. The Glimpse is going to bring the Ursa back, but he's going to be happy with that one. Moves on over to that high ground, and it's now going to be a siege that YG will have difficulty in stopping.
Radiant's middle tower is under
KSH still farming up on that troll, trying to go for that scepter, for that dispel. Meanwhile, Zoran isn't in here in this position either. He is farming up for his Shivas. I think the plan here is to abandon this tier 3 mid racks. Oh no, Young PH. An innocent looking tornado and EMP, but he's gonna eat those Mortimers stuck inside of that arena trying to find his escape, but won't not be able to find it. And Yang on Galacticos, they are not even interested in defending that Invoker's position. They will give up the mid barracks, and unfortunately for them, this doesn't end here. Their nightmare is they're not going to be waking up from this nightmare anytime soon. As Emperor will head on over towards that mid, or rather towards that top side tower,
under attack.
looking to secure it now.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's courier has been killed. Radiant's top tower has fallen. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's top barracks.
It's going to be 2 sets of barracks, and YG simply do not have the appetite to fight. This is the beginning of the end for at least game number 2. As Emperor, all they need to do is run down towards another set of barracks, and they will acquire mega creeps. But perhaps
Radiant are
they want to make a play towards Zorain, who is thinking about going for the banner. But the rest of Emperor, they're just waiting for someone to hit that banner, daring YG to go for it. It is going to be a clean effort, though. I mean, they have a one entire minute, a whole minute on that Aegis, so using the Doom on that Ursa isn't valuable, but Zoran's BKB is going to end up getting forced out. Can they actually find this Ursa? Because if they take this Aegis down, perhaps they can make their entry, but the Mars goes in with that arena, holding the 2 cores from IG in, and Kui with that BKB, with that Blade Mail, will be able to force YG back. The Mortimers being dodged out, but you can't dodge the bear. And Emperor, having taken the Doom out, they will move on over. However, this time around from Youngji, that might have been an overextension. He is going to end up losing his life as Zoran goes on forward. Mango Rose is going to end up getting glimpsed back. Still has that Aegis, mind you. So he's going to be perfectly fine in this position, as constantly trying to go in. Now the Aegis does get popped. However, there is no Doom available on the side of YG. So how do they plan on taking this Ursa down? You do have KSH on this troll who has that BKB up still. Ursa respawning, has that blink dagger, will not be able to make it out, and will end up falling. And a massive overextension coming in from Emperor. That blink from that Mars towards this position. He came in out of nowhere and just simply unable to. I mean, his team was his team was just simply unable to come to that Mars's aid, and even the Ursa was caught out, forced to blink in. I don't know if that will be enough for YG to come back into this game,
Dire's
though.
middle tower is
Now,
under
the good
attack.
thing about YG is that they didn't actually have to use many of their buybacks. Only the Doom had to use it. And the troll KSH is now farmed up, has that Aghanim Scepter, so has those dispels coming about. But I don't know if it's enough is the problem. They still are faced up against a 20,000 net worth lead. Dota Buff is predicting, or rather Dota Plus is predicting an 87% win probability for Emperor, and this is one of those times where I agree with that win probability. Skill Lay, how many times has he died in this position? This really does seem like seems like his favorite place to be on the map. YG will grab up the Tormentor, but unfortunately it won't go the way of Lun. It will be a Tormentor that goes the way of that Mortha. As young PH.
Bounty.
Mango Rose with that Ursa. I mean, is pretty far towards any of these items. Oh no. They might actually find the perfect kill. Mango Rose was thinking about going for that creep wave, but isn't going to be going for it. They will still find Playhard if he chooses to descend upon this position, but I think Playhard saw the Ghost Walk. Yeah, he's gonna ping it out, so they know that young Galacticos are actually making a move, and it's Mango Rose who is going to be visible, and now the Doom goes in, finds the Doom on that Ursa, and they will burst him down. He does activate that BKB though, so is able to make it out. The arena comes out, but yeah, says is on the chase. They will potentially, no! The Snapfire keeps the Ursa alive and saved. The Doom will end up wearing away. YG are going to get Playhard down. However, this Ursa is going to go back to the fountain to regenerate back up. Hui's job right now is to hold YG in for their Ursa to come back. Playhard is going to use the buyback as well. And now Mango, having joined back into this team, is going to be going in on towards Zoran. However, he's still going to end up eating a Deafening Blast. And the Sunstrike is going to come about. The Tornado is going to send him up into the air. And this Ursa still is alive though. Young of Galacticos, they still have the Battle Trance as the ready. From KSH, he can potentially continue to fight from this position. Still attempting to go play hard now with the dieback, and now the Battle Trance comes out, but he is getting skewered to the trees, torrented up into the air by that Eels as well, and they will fall inevitably. Emperor. That play from Playhard, yeah, tips all over. I mean, he deserves the tips from the entire team at this point, because that one spell from that gobble up kept the Ursa alive. Holy moly, I mean, that was a
Radiant's
insane play coming out from that Snapfire.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's ancient is under attack.
And now it does seem like the beginning of the end. The throne is going to be besieged and it's going to be brought down. No buybacks available on the side of Young Galacticos apart from their support, and Young PH is simply going to call it good game as Emperor take game number 2 and will be taking Young Galacticos to that third game in this best of 3. Oh man, Emperor simply outplaying Young Galacticos through and through from the early game. I mean, surely getting 3 kills before the creeps even spawn, before that 0-minute mark, is helps them out significantly, right? I don't know how the game would have transitioned if that did not happen. However, I do know that YG will have an equal matchup faces up against them. Sure, they may be the stronger team, but I think that Emperor, time and time again, have proven that they can take games off of Young Galacticos. Let's see, though, who comes out ahead in that final and decisive game number 3 between both of these two sides, as only one can be crowned the series winner, and only one will gain additional points into that group stage. We will find out who that winner is after a short break, so don't go anywhere, guys, and stay tuned. are going to be able to continue their run. They are the defending champions, so a lot of these teams, a lot of these other teams are going to be looking to take YG down. It is going to be it is going to be a difficult task though, because YG are a team that are able to find the comebacks consistently. Right now, though, they will go for much of the same picks as they had in game number 1. They will be going for that Disruptor as well as that Mars, and I think this is going to be... Oh, no, this has to be an Earthshaker on that mid lane being played by Young PH. Very strong picks coming out from their side. Have 3 Initiators. Emperor, though, they will pick up a Pangolier as well as that Bane coming about. And I wonder... because the Bane's Fiend's Grip can actually get cancelled out by that long-range Fissure very easily, right? And a Disruptor can actually pick up the Shard to counter out that Bane too with that ground-targeted Thunderstrike. So we will see. I'm actually not sure the Thunderstrike still mini-stuns or not. I don't know if that got changed. I could be wrong about that. But my point is that multiple ways for Yango Galacticos to actually break through from that Fiend's Grip. But Emperor, I wonder though what hero they plan on bringing out to stack up with that Fiend's Grip. Maybe pick a Troll Warlord for themselves, because the Fiend's Grip into a Troll Warlord, or rather followed up with a Troll Warlord, does seem like a pretty strong combination. But you can also go for something like the Swen, just to burst out that Disruptor. Maybe a Templar Assassin too, but you need something that has a natural BKB. Maybe go for a Lifestealer, if I'm being honest. That does seem like a great hero in this game. Just run out of the arena. You can also chase after the Disruptor. Use the Rage to make sure you can't get glimpsed back. And you can... Unfortunately for Emperor, they banned out the puck. So they could have found themselves picking up the puck for themselves, but they won't be able to have that this time around.
Dire team pick.
Emperor
Templar
going to go for the Templar Assassin. So they don't go for the Lifestealer. It will be a TA as the carry. Let's see if the TA will be able to survive, because if you get hit by that Static Storm, you are going to die. At the same time, if you blink on top of that Disruptor and dish out that Melt Strike, you can take the Disruptor down reasonably quickly. I mean, pretty quickly, in fact. Just a few hits will do the trick.
5 seconds remaining.
But have to find the right entry. And so far, Emperor, like game number 1, their heroes are feeling pretty squishy, and they don't have many initiators. Even the Pangolier, he is a good initiator, but he's not a good enough frontliner, because in that Rolling Thunder, he's not really going to be targeted. Yangon Galacticos are pretty much going to target your Templar Assassin more than anything else.
Radiant team pick.
YG will have a Phoenix on the other side, faced up against them. Emperor with the Phoenix, again, it's not a frontliner. Sure, Young Galacticos don't have a way to break the egg, at least for now. They still can pick up that Snapfire. It's not banned out. It worked out wonders for them in game number 1. Worked out wonders for Emperor with Playhard coming out with the save of the tournament with that Snapfire. But right now, YG can pick it up. They have the offlaner. It will be a Mars Snapfire game for the 3rd game in a row if that does happen. But you have that easy egg killer in that Snapfire. So I think you just go for it right now.
Radiant
Young
team
Galacticos, they will not go for the Snapfire. They're actually going to go for a Leshrac. I'm not exactly sure about this Leshrac pick, because as it turns out, you're faced up against so much magical damage, the Bean and the Phoenix, and as well as that Pangolier. I don't know if the Leshrac will be able to survive. At the same time, though, very good against that Pangolier on that mid lane. And then this Templar Assassin's Refraction is not going to be holding up against the Edict, right? You have that arena. So if multiple heroes of Emperor are stuck inside of that arena, Leshrac can come in, blink inside of that arena, just dish out damage with the pulses, as well as that edict, and Emperor will fall.
Dire team ban.
Terrorblade ban coming out from Emperor as Yango Galacticos ban out the Abaddon. It was a hero that could have worked out for Yango Galacticos. That hard dispel
10
against both the Nightmare as well as that Fiend's Grip, but they don't go for it. I wonder though if
5
YG are
seconds
actually going to pick up a troll this time around. Is a great hero against that Phoenix Egg, or maybe you go for the Ursa, who does struggle in that laning phase against the Egg, but later on does do pretty well to take out the Egg with the Fury swipes, or with the Overpower at the ready. As YG, they will okay. I was not expecting that one. It's an anti-mage, guys. It's I don't know. Is Ame taking a break from DI? Wait, what is this? The anti-mage comes out from Yango Galacticos, and the anti-mage isn't exactly a hero that does super well against a Templar Assassin in that mid game. It's at that late game mark when you are 5-slotted or 6-slotted that you can take the Templar Assassin down. And Emperor, yeah, they're going to be happy picking up the axe. The axe plus the Phoenix is going to destroy the anti-mage. I mean, at least that's the way that it's expected to go. So for KSH, I wonder what the plan here is for this anti-mage. It's not even... There's no Storm on the other side. There's no Medusa. There's no huge mana pool hero available for to play against as far as the anti-mage goes. So I don't know what the idea behind this hero is.